The reports today about the National Commission for Children's Rights investigating minority institutions and saying that their economic weaker section admissions are non-existent and that a very large number of them have students from the non-minority or other majority and other communities. This report totally exposes the absolute politicization of important national commissions and other statutory bodies. This Commission for Children's Welfare was designed to ensure that children were not abused, not sexually exploited, not treated in a manner that assailed their dignity or their right to life, that they had all other facilities, including food. Its job was not to investigate how other commissions, how other bodies, how the people at large were living their life. When they take an investigation of minority institutions, they violate the constitutional rights of minorities. They violate and go against judgments of the Supreme Court, which have maintained under Article 30 that religious minorities and other minorities have the right to manage educational and other institutions according to their own system, as long as they don't violate national laws, which would be on labor relations, on health, on safety and security, and fire and such like. Under those parameters, these schools run by Catholics, by other Christians, by Muslims, madrasas, Sikh bodies, Buddhist bodies, had the right to manage their institutions. And other commissions do not really come into the picture. And therefore, things like a statutory quota for Dalits, SC/ST, doesn't operate for minority institutions. In this particular case, the report therefore falls flat on its face because this goes into an area where they have no right and no qualifications to investigate. We now come to the second issue, that minority institutions don't have enough students from the minority communities. Now, schools are not like central laws, that you have the law enacted in Delhi by Parliament and it is operating all over the country. Schools and colleges are geographic entities. They have an area from which they collect the children who come to study. It's like a small catchment area that you may have for a lake, for instance. So within this catchment area, the schools are set up. Christians, I know for a fact, set up schools for two purposes. To take education where there has been no education. And for 200 years, that is what they've been doing. They've been setting up institutions, schools in tribal areas where nobody ever went. In Dalit areas who had never seen education because in their particular social structure, education was not meant for untouchable people, for small people, for poor people. It is only reserved for a very few upper caste people, for instance, or the very rich. Christians also operate schools in urban areas, in cantonments, in towns, in metropolitan areas. And there, the population in both areas really, sometimes if they set up a school in an area which is largely Christian, which could happen in Nagaland or Kerala or Meghalaya or Mizoram, then obviously the school or college will have a very large number of people from the Christian community. But if the school were set up in Kashmir, with a Christian community in Kashmir, not in Jammu, is almost non-existent. Patently there will be no or very few Christians there in that school, or Rajasthan or somewhere else. In Bombay there may be several others. As a rule, most Christian schools have an unwritten law that says their first preference is for their own community, the wider Christian community, and then other minorities and the general community. So when this report says that they're not enough, it is talking of in areas of which it has no knowledge. Thirdly, we come to the economic weaker section and the right to education. The right to education, obviously that is the main motive. Why schools are set up by nuns and fathers and others, acknowledging that every child has the birthright to be educated. That's why you set up schools, not in obedience of the law, but in obedience to a duty. Having said that, Christians and Muslims, for the most, are largely poor people. So if you were to go to a school, not to St. Stephen's College or St. Xavier's, Bombay, but if you go to an ordinary school, the Christians there would be largely from the poor community. And if you were just to take that into consideration, that number will far exceed than the 15 or whatever percentage that the government wants schools to have. And that is something that this commission should have known. Are these schools catering as much in their community to their community's poor as they are to other people? And that is the cardinal point. Do Christian schools cater also to the poor of the Christian community? I think they do, by the intuitive motive, by their duty, by the what we call charism of the organizing group which runs the school. And scholarships are offered, all sorts of other benefits are offered if the child finds it very difficult to be in that school. I dismiss this report. And if I were to counter check whether the National Commission for the Protection of Children's Rights has been true to its cause, or if it has been a political tool in the hands of political parties, particularly the BJP. I mean, I could turn up a report and say that for the years that this commission has been under the BJP, it has acted as an agent of the BJP's ideological agenda, and not in the spirit in which it was set up.